It's Jordan and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be telling you my most anticipated releases for the first half of 2016. There are a lot of really great books coming out in the spring that I am so excited for. Cannot wait to get my grubby little hands on. And today I'm going to be telling you when they come out, which ones I'm most excited for, and a little bit about each one. Like a little bit, because I got a lot to go through and I want this video to not be 100 billion years long. So the first one on my list is Passenger by Alexandra Bracken, and this one comes out on January 5th. Pirates involved, it's time travel-y, which is usually kind of a deterrent for me because time travel in books is typically very hard to follow and confusing. I did not like it in The Prisoner of Azkaban, so I'm hoping that this is done really well. I believe it's the first book in a new series. I'm really interested to see how Alexandra Bracken does the whole time travel aspect, plus the pirates. I love me a good pirate. Next, I have the Siren by Kira Cass, and this one comes out on January 26th. I believe this is a standalone novel by her. Also was originally self-published, and she kind of revamped the story. They're republishing it with a publisher. Sirens are a part of Greek mythology. They're beautiful women who sing ships into chaos, pretty much. Their voices are very deadly. We're following a siren in the story who falls in love with a human who is... That's not allowed. You cannot do that. Drama will ensue. As per usual, Kira Cass style, these characters have very strange names. The main female lead is Kaylin. The main male lead, I can't even pronounce. Akinley? Why can't she just make normal names? You guys know how much I've enjoyed the Selection series, so I cannot wait to read this one and see her write something in a different universe. Next we have Stars Above by Marissa Meyer, and this comes out on February 2nd. And this is a bind-up of all of the novellas from the Lunar Chronicle series. I believe that there are some included in here that have already been released, as well as new ones, some new bonus content. I'm hoping that this is one of those bind-ups that really gives us insight into the series and really builds upon the series and isn't just useless material that you really didn't ever need. Next we have Glass Sword by Victoria Aveyard, and this one comes out on February 9th. This is the second book in the Red Queen series. I have not yet read Red Queen. I've been putting it off because I hear such mixed things about it and I'm really hesitant to pick it up, but I know that a lot of people are really anticipating this book, my mom being one of them, so I included it mainly for her. Hey mom, this is the day it comes out in case you were wondering. I am still intrigued by it and I still want to read it at some point. I've heard much better, more positive things about this one, less mixed things like I did the first one. Next we have Calamity by Brandon Sanderson, and this one comes out on February 16th. This is the final book, I believe, in the Reckoner series. It follows Firefight. I cannot wait to get my hands on this book. The way Firefight ended really kind of sets up a different perspective on the world than what we were initially thinking was going on. It's going to be a really fantastic ride because Brandon Sanderson doesn't do anything less than fantastic. I mean, I would be really surprised if this book was bad. Like, really surprised. I'm really excited to read this. Interesting take on superheroes and what happens if maybe those superheroes weren't trying to save us, but were in fact trying to enslave us. Ooh, that was a nice tagline there. I liked that. And then on March 8th, we have Lady Midnight by Cassandra Clare, one of the books that I've been waiting for over a year because it kept getting pushed back further and further. Thank God it's finally coming out. The first book in the new Dark Artifices series takes place 5 years after the conclusion of the Mortal Instruments. It follows a couple of the characters that we were introduced to in City of Heavenly Fire. Holy crap, I cannot wait. I cannot wait for this book. It's probably my most anticipated book of next year. Next, I have The Great Hunt by Wendy Higgins, and this book comes out on March 8th. This one takes place in a fantasy world that I can't pronounce. Lochlanach? We're following the princess, and in this realm, there is this beast that needs to be slayed. And so they send out a hunt to slay this beast. Whoever slays this beast wins her heart. So she's trying to not set her sights on any one particular member of the hunt. However, this one man stands out to her, Paxton Seabolt. However, Paxton's not so keen on the royal family and their snobby ways, and he is mainly in this hunt with the focus of saving his family, with really no interest in winning the princess's hand in marriage. And this is actually inspired by a Brothers Grimm's tale, The Singing Bone, which I've never heard of. I really enjoyed Sweet Evil by Wendy Higgins, and this sounded so interesting when I was looking through the list on Goodreads. I am really interested to see how she does this. Plus, it's a retelling. Next, we have Yellow Brick War by Danielle Page, and this one comes out on March 15th. This is the final book in the Dorothy Must Die series. I've read the first book of the series, and I read the novella bind-up. I had quite a few issues with the first book, but it's also a very unique story in that it's like nothing I've ever read in YA. It's very odd. If you've read it before, you know what I mean. I'm still interested in the series. I still want to continue it, so I had to put it on my list. Next, we have Demigods and Magicians by Rick Riordan, and this one comes out on April 5th. And this is the previously released ebook novellas that are crossovers of Percy Jackson and the Kane Chronicles. They are finally being released in a hardback real life version, and I'm so excited for them. Rick Riordan has so much coming out next year, and I'm so happy about it. Also on April 5th, we have The Glittering Court by Rochelle Mead, and this is a mashup of the, I believe is it Victorian or Elizabethan era in England? It's one of those two mixed with frontier America. This young girl runs away from her royal background to the colonial part of this world, and I believe she joins a finishing school that helps to train girls to be assassins, if I'm correct. It's the first book in a new trilogy, and each book will focus on a different perspective. So with each new narrator, we will learn a little bit more about what happened, and I really like that concept. Then on April 26th, we have The Raven King by Maggie Stiefvater. This is the fourth and final book in the Raven Cycle Quartet. I haven't read any of the books in the series yet, but I know that this is a really popular series and a lot of people are really anticipating this last book, so I wanted to include it. Also, my mom really enjoyed the series, so I wanted to put this in here for her as well. All I know about the series, it's about someone named Blue and someone named Gansey and something about ley lines and magical powers. I would really like to get into the series. Then we have The Trials of Apollo, Book 1, The Hidden Oracle by Rick Riordan, and this one comes out on May 3rd. This is Rick Riordan's new series about Apollo, who was previously a god but was punished by Zeus and is now a human living in our world. And he feels the only people who can help him become his godly self again are those at Camp Half-Blood. I'm very excited for this series. It's the capstone on the Percy Jackson series. I am sure we're going to hear from Percy and Annabeth and Frank and Hazel and Jason and Leo. We better find out what happened with Leo. I told you all that Blood of Olympus was not the final book in the series. I can't wait for this book to be mine. Also on May 3rd, we have The Crown by Kira Cass. This is the, I like to think of it, final book in the second half of the Selection duology, if that makes sense. The Selection, the Elite, and the One are a trilogy. The Heir and the Crown are a duology because they take place 20 years later. So how it can be a continuation, I don't understand. I haven't started The Heir yet, so I don't really know what to expect for The Crown, but I'm really excited to read The Heir. I really, really enjoyed the Selection, and I've heard The Heir is even better than the Selection. Plus, this cover is gorgeous. It's so sparkly and purple and pretty, and I cannot wait to own it. Also on May 3rd. May 3rd is a great day for books. We have The Unexpected Everything by Morgan Matson. This book follows a young girl named Andy who is the daughter of a politician, and therefore she's kind of raised herself as her dad's been busy with his political career. She's had everything figured out. Everything is planned. There is no surprise in her life. After this giant scandal, she's thrust into this world where everything is not so planned, and she meets this boy named Clark. A lot of what she thought was going to be her future starts to change. She's seeing things in a new light. The only book I've read by her is Amy Rogers' Epic Detour, but it did make my top 10 favorites of 2015. And then on May 6th, we have A Court of Mist and Fury by Sarah J. Maas, the second book to the A Court of Thorns and Roses series. I'm so excited for this book. A Court of Thorns and Roses, one of my top 10 favorite books of last year. I have very high hopes for this book, very high expectations. I'm really hoping that it delivers for me, just as action-packed and eventful and roller coaster and thrill ride. And this one is one of my most anticipated books of next year. And then on May 24th, we have The Last Star by Rick Yancey. This is the final book in the Fifth Wave series. I hear such wonderful, great things about the Fifth Wave. I hear Infinite Sea is not so well done, but I am really excited to see and to hear people's thoughts on this final book in the series. This book is coming out quite a while after the second one, isn't it? This better be a kick-ass book. It's had a long time to become one. I have noticed though that this book, according to the page count, is just as short as The Infinite Sea. So they're not nearly as long as The Fifth Wave, which kind of worries me. The last book on my list for the first 6 months of 2016 is Beautiful Days and Nights, which is another collection of short stories edited by Stephanie Perkins, which focuses on summer love. I love stories about summer love. This one has another 12 fantastic, very well-known YA writers. We have, I think, Leigh Bardugo is writing one for this, and Stephanie Perkins wrote one for this. Veronica Roth has a short story in this. Cassandra Clare wrote one. I also really love this cover. It looks so pretty with the Christmas one. I just really like how they did this and they kept it consistent. I didn't even know this book was like a thing until I was looking through that Goodreads list, and I got very excited when I learned that it was. So that is my list of my most anticipated books for the first half of 2016. Most of them are continuations from series that I've been previously reading. We've got a couple that are the starts of new series. I don't have any debut authors on my list though, so if you know some really great debut authors, definitely let me know in the comments down below so I can check them out and add them to my list. Tell me also what is your most anticipated book for next spring. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you guys very soon. Bye!